Right. So good evening, everyone. Apologies for the slight change in plans after testing going live twice over the last 2 days. For some strange reason, we've not been able to do it as it's come to it today. So we just wanted to take sort of 25 minutes of your time, if that, just to first and foremost thank you for jumping on the 2-week free trial of the Complete Performance Rugby Edition programme. And we just first and foremost wanted to introduce ourselves. My name's Alex Morell. I am a qualified physiotherapist. Over the last 7 years, I've worked within professional sport in a number of different capacities. First and foremost, part-time within Rugby League alongside some private practice work, and then moving forward over the last 5 years full-time as head of physiotherapy at Yorkshire Carnegie, Leeds Rhinos, and across a number of different England Rugby League programmes. My sort of journey within the athletic development world started with a degree in sports science and a number of different strength and conditioning based qualifications along the way. I'll pass you over to Chris to introduce himself.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on here. My name is Chris Black. I have been working in professional sport now for over 10 years. My journey is a little bit different than most people's. I actually didn't do a sports science degree to start off with. I got in sports science through the internship, originally with Leeds Carnegie, as they were back in the day. And then kind of went off and did various things. Came back into my first full-time job as a strength conditioning coach with Castleford Tigers. Moved across to Leeds Rhinos as the assistant S&C there for a few years. Was part of a fantastic team, as most of you've probably seen on social media, especially the last few days, there, 2014, 2015. Moved on to England Rugby League and Yorkshire Carnegie before that, so dabbled in rugby union a little bit, which is where my background previously comes from. As I say, I was a head of physical performance for England Rugby League for a few seasons. And then came back to Leeds Rhinos to have a similar role there up to the last 2 years or so. So just living and working around the Leeds area for a while.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, so I suppose alongside our professional endeavours, we both have played rugby for a number of years at varying standards. My rugby career ended with the loss of a front tooth. I believe it's been 2 or 3 years since you've played at all, is it, Chris?
Yeah, probably longer than that, but I don't want to say. Played rugby league, actually. Well,
nice. So first and foremost, after the formal introductions, we'd just like to give you an overview of the programme as a whole before, over the coming days and weeks, delving into certain topics a little bit further. I think first and foremost, we want this group to be as interactive as possible. We have already had a number of you introduce yourself and also set some goals and intentions for the week, which is perfect. First and foremost, we want the group to replicate a team environment as much as possible. Obviously, accessibility to training and community has been compromised over the last 12 months, and it looks like that's heading back in the right direction, which is fantastic. But our sort of overriding aim was to provide an elite level coaching experience online, both in terms of the level of support that you get from us as coaches, as an S&C and a physio, but also within the team environment, driving competitiveness and actually looking to better yourself and each other each and every day. On top of that, there will be a number of opportunities for feedback. As I said, we want the Facebook group to be very interactive, but also when we get to the main program on January the 4th, the program will be delivered through an app called True Coach. That is really easy and accessible. We'll run through that over the next couple of weeks, but you will get the programming delivered into the app every single day. There will be videos of each and every exercise, and you will be able to upload One, your videos for feedback and breakdown. Two, the loads that you have lifted, the scores and the times that you have achieved in different conditioning drills for monitoring and tracking and progression purposes. And three, you'll be able to ask questions through that. So there will be a lot of access to us as coaches. Alongside that, there will be weekly check-ins. We will provide you with a form, a Google form, a Woohoo form, just to keep you accountable to yourself, keep you accountable to the group, and you will have us on your back to a certain degree, much like a professional athlete would do in terms of their recovery, in terms of their nutrition, and ultimately we want you to achieve your goals. And on top of that, obviously, when you filled in the intake form, we asked you what your main goals for being involved in the group were. A number of you said injury prevention. A number of you said weight loss, fat loss, lean muscle mass. And there will be different streams within the program come the 4th of January. And we ultimately want to support you, guide you, and provide you with the solution to the problems which you're experiencing, which is impacting you both on and off the field. We recognise that not only are we all looking to optimise our athletic endeavours, but we also want to look good and feel good off the field as well. So that's just an overview of the why behind the programme. We're both extremely passionate about working with people as a group and individually, and providing solutions to problems. So we thought and we saw an opportunity to deliver a service which we've done with proven success over the last couple of years in this format. So I will hand over to Chris. He will run you through the PDF. Obviously, this is a recording rather than us going live. Please ask any questions down below. We will get to them in a specific Q&A. We may drop in and out of the group and answer them directly during the week. You will hear lots from us over the next couple of weeks, but there will be a dedicated hour or so, whatever's necessary to answering any questions. So I will just hand you over to Chris, and I will catch you all soon.
Great, thanks, Al. Yeah, so just in terms of adding to what Al said there, and you know, obviously the last few weeks we've gone back and forth on the why and the how, and the why for me is really simple. When you give an athlete a program, it's kind of expected, you know, and athletes get nutritional advice on hand. They get top physio whenever they've got a niggle or they need a rub or they need a cuddle. They get the program, as I said, they get everything around it. And there's a certain amount of appreciation, but what I've been finding and what Alex has been, telling me is how much of a need there is out there for this kind of stuff, and how much of a want. And I obviously do some consultancy work with a few amateur clubs, and any sort of bit of coaching you do with the individuals there, they lap it up. So hopefully we can bring some of our experience into this program, and hopefully everyone gets something out of it. And so Alex put the PDF on the group in the last few days there. Let me see if I can work my laptop now, Al.
You can see the problems we've been having there then.
1 second.
Fourth tab along.
I just can't get it because that thing's at the top of the screen.
At least it's no seedy websites that have been popping up.
No, not with me, mate. Full Rhino's laptop this. All right, so sorry about that. This is the PDF that Al shared in the week, and listen, all this kind of stuff can look really complicated, but just to give you an overview of kind of how I program, and probably why me and Alex get on so well, really, in a work sense and a personal sense, Al, is because our overriding philosophy is really, really simple, is to keep things really, really simple. And And kind of over my 10 years experience in professional sport, I've just found that's the way that works for me. So I always say my program philosophy is the basics done excellently over and over and over again. And I make no apologies for not changing my kind of stance on that, or my coaching points always remain the same. And you'll see a lot of like consistency throughout the programs of whether it be belt buckle or whether it be how we want things done a certain way, rib cage, breathing patterns, everything that we're going to talk about over the next couple of weeks and months. That you'll just get used to it. It becomes second nature to you. I'm not one of these conditioners who, tries to go viral on social media by making up these crazy exercises. A lot of you will have seen these exercises before. They might be called different things. I might need them done a certain way or ask them to be done a certain way, but certainly there's no really complex exercises that look good on YouTube, but actually don't transfer into sport. Okay, so what I try and do is, you'll see throughout the program, is go from simple to more complex and then back to simple again. And when I go back to simple again, I'll add something, I'll add resistance or whatever it is. And my program and Al's program, and some of you guys have been on through Al's programming before, it's all about running. It's all about running mechanics. It's all about improving the way you run, the way you move for injury prevention and also for sporting performance. That's just the way. There's no point in being ridiculously strong. You think of how a bodybuilder trains. There's no point in being that strong but not unable to move it and unable to apply those forces in any direction that's going to help you in a sporting activity. And that's why we're all here, hopefully, is to improve sport and, as Al says, to look good at the same time, which I agree with. So yeah, we'll, as I say, we'll expand more on these kind of areas over the next few weeks, but I just wanted to give you a sort of indication of what we're talking about when you look at this, because, as I say, it can be pretty daunting to look at it and thinking. And again, this is for you. This is for you guys to fill in. We're going to do some calories and macronutrient work throughout the week, because, as I said, the diet side of it is probably something that a lot of you need help with when you look at the responses to the questionnaire. A lot of it's lean body mass, or if it's losing fat mass, then this nutrition stuff is going to be key. We're going to get some guest speakers, which I'm not sure you mentioned, Al, throughout the weeks, experts in their area, and one of them being nutrition. So watch out for that. He'll go into much more depth than I am able to, and I do. Again, I keep it simple, very, very simple. Goal setting stuff. Again, as Al mentioned, a lot of you guys came on today and posted your kind of goals for the program. Kind of where you are in your rehab or performance, whatever, which is great. Again, these goals just keep you accountable. So again, when you fill this form in, keep checking back on it. As I say, we'll give you the Google share so that you can just keep changing it. If you get 3 months, 6 months down the line and you haven't felt like, or you've got your goals and you want to get more different goals, then great. Just keep changing it. Keep yourself. And the long-term goal is the most important thing. The long-term goal is going to keep you kind of focused in that area. And then we break it up a little bit by bit, it's a sort of thing. So over here on the right-hand side is a schedule. Now, first thing I'll say about this schedule really is that, and from the online point of view and from not working with professional athletes, is this is up to you guys. This is totally trying to be fitted around your lifestyle. If we're inflexible in it and say you have to do these sessions on a certain day, it's not going to work for you. Okay, so it's going to fit around your work life, home life, whatever it is. Obviously, a lot of you guys are still playing and still training. Obviously, that's come back as well. So fit this around where you can. And that's, as I say, that's the only way it's going to work. So total body 1, total body 2, total body 3. Again, as Al mentioned, there's going to be different streams depending on your goals. What I like to do is I like to do total body training sessions, mainly because I don't really want to override a certain area or overload a certain area that just smashes you up, basically, so you can't walk. You see a lot of upper lower splits and traditional hypertrophy programs. And if you do a big leg session on the Monday and can't walk the rest of the week, again, that's not going to fit too well with your lifestyle and work probably. So I just do total body so I can kind of microdose the body parts or what we're looking for, strength deficits in there. So I see the first week there. I'll just talk briefly about that. The 5K run test. A big part of being in a professional environment, and so was the initial starting point of anything, is always with testing. Okay, so we need to get an idea of where you're at. We'll hopefully get you guys to do these tests, to put your results in, and then we'll come up with a bit of a how do we get there? How do we improve these scores, which are obviously going to improve physical ability. 5K run test is what it is. It can be done outside, or it can be done on a treadmill. It's totally up to you guys and again what fits with you. We just want your time on that, just your best time. And again, don't be embarrassed by putting it in the group if you're not too happy with it, because that's why we're here at the end of the day, is to improve, and you've got to start somewhere. 3-minute watt bike test, for anybody who hasn't done it before, is absolutely disgusting. And so really look forward to that one. Not everyone's going to have a watt bike, I get that. But again, it's just one of the tests we use with the rhinos. So, one of the tests I would refer back to quite a bit. So we have some sort of scores for it. We have a bit of challenges around that as well. And then it's a really good test for kind of anaerobic power, if you want to put it that way. The 1,000-meter row test, again, isn't a nice one, but it's over nice and short. So again, get your tests in there, guys, if you can. If you want to do one of the tests tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, whenever it is, it'd be real good just to see you guys through some of those tests, so some of your results in there. That's just going to create that competition. So then the week after is a bit more of a normal week. Okay, so how I would plan a week, or how would I ideally look to plan a week, day on, day off. So have a big tough session one day, and then have a day off recovery wise. Al's going to probably ask you to do some stuff on that day just to make sure you're ready to go for the next session, and then repeat, basically smash repeat, smash repeat, smash repeat. That's the way the human body works. Just to give you a bit of an idea on the program, again, this is going to look, if it's the first time you've seen anything like this before, then it's going to look complicated, but it's really not, trust me. Okay, so again, I'm going to get into specifics a bit later on about why I program a certain way and how I program. And as Al says, we want to give you guys the tools that kind of go off and understand these things. Because again, like a professional athlete, if you just get given the program and don't put any thought into doing it, you're probably not going to get as much out of it. That's where the questions come in. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? I always have an answer, and I always have a rationale for why I've included certain exercises, or why I've put that in that certain order. There's so much thinking that goes into these programs that probably you don't see on the surface. So ask questions, and try and get my rationale. It's not always going to be right. I'm sure Al doesn't agree with half the stuff I do, but as long as you got a rationale for it, then nobody can argue with that really, because that was your thinking at the time. So just to give you a brief overview for those guys who are going to do the sessions now, the A's should all be done together. So hang high pull and the standing broad jump is a superset. So basically you do 5 hang high pulls, then you do 3 standing broad jumps, and then you have a bit of a rest, and then we go on again. So this is set 1, set 2, set 3. So it's 3 sets. That's the second week. Okay. Just to give you an indication on the weeks, and when you see a full program, when you hopefully join on January 4th, the moderate heavy refers to the intensity you should be lifting at. Okay, so I always want my athletes to have a moderate week, so that when they go lift heavy, expect to lift heavier the next week, they're going to get the adaptations from it, and then we're usually going into thanks, Alison. Week 3 is usually going into a heavy week. Okay, so it's progressively getting harder, and more the intensity is going up per week, and then we'll come back down. So as I say, these are all supersetted, or sometimes in a tri-set. So you see that these next two here, they're always kind of should be done in sequence order down there. So that's your session 1, total body 1. As you see, there's lower body, upper body push, upper body pull. And again, I'll go into more detail in the next few weeks about why I do it that way. So that's the overview sheet. The next sheets down are just the programs really, and these are where you fill it in, in the Google spreadsheets, or if you want to print it off and fill in your sheet there, that's absolutely fine. It's up to you. So obviously the reps are there, the weights there. This information here is how I coach it. So they're kind of key coaching points, because everyone should, maybe knows how to do a hang high pull. I kind of talk about in this box here what I would be saying to the athlete, what I would keep repeating to the athlete. So you'll see a lot of the core stuff with ribs cage down and nasal breathing, which we'll talk you through in the next few weeks. And like hip position, rib position, they're all the key kind of teaching points that I want to get in. They're in these boxes here, so keep referring to them. And then that's the added side of the True Coach, as Al explained earlier. True Coach is a fantastic app. We upload our videos into that app of how we want it done and how the exercise is there. You click on the app, click on your phone, and it'll show you exactly what you want to do. It'll just be a reminder to you. The other side that I'll mention as well is that you can upload your videos to us. So if you go into this workout and you video yourself doing any of the exercises, or I'm not quite getting that right, that's where we'll probably go into the group, touch base with you, tell you how we'd want it doing, and then sort of pick up some points that you can improve on the lift. Which is, everyone needs that feedback at the end of the day. So if anybody doesn't understand the exercises, please get in touch as well. That's, again, the question in the group. I do call things differently. So you'll see a lot of things there that you never heard of, or thing. I just have my own kind of nuances that how I like it spelt and done and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so again, ask any questions you need clarification on, just let me know. That's the same sessions, it's just the week 2. So again, you can see the moderate heavy, the step up in intensity through there. So for the conditioning, okay, so this is the week 2 conditioning, essentially, and again, has to fit in your lifestyle. And as I say, a lot of you will be training at rugby still, or whatever sport you play. I've seen a few Gaelic footballers in there represent. So again, this is a very generic program, and it's just to show you how the program would be structured when we come January the 4th and kind of the conditioning sessions. Obviously, we would say use your rugby session or use your field session, use whatever training you're doing, match day, whatever. That's the key focus, is your training and match day. And one of the big successes myself and Al have had this year and the last few years working together is we put all our emphasis on training, giving the coaches player availability, training availability, get their numbers up so they can make them better players. That's why we play the game. We don't play the game to go in the gym, unfortunately. We play the game to play match in a weekend and to train and being around that environment. So again, this is just how I would plan a session. For there, how many reps, how many rest periods I like, and talk about like different work rest capacities, looking at different energy systems. So you'll see down the rowing sessions very, very much like a quick anaerobic session. The watt bikes, obviously 30 on, 30 off, more of a lactate one. And then this one here is more aerobic based because we're asking you to go longer. Okay, so we're asking you to spend more time performing the exercise and more time working. And then, so that's just increasing that aerobics. You're going to use different energy systems in that again. And then, yeah, so that's just sessions for you guys to try. I don't think I've missed anything at all, have I?
No, mate, you seem to cover everything. I think the one thing I would point out is within your programs, there are a couple of the exercises that are more likely to be that people will more likely be unfamiliar with. There are some hyperlinks within there for them to click. Just again to gain a bit of experience on what the True Coach app will be like, and then when we go over the True Coach app in a video in the future, it will be interesting from an accountability point of view as well, because it gives us 7, 30 and 90-day compliance rates. And again, that isn't us putting pressure on you from a negative point of view. Ultimately, we want you on January the 4th to join us and trust us to deliver you the goals at the end of the 12 weeks. But we also do need to keep you accountable to that, both for yourself and within this community, which we are beginning to grow. and we're just looking forward to you having an experience of what's to offer for the next 2 weeks. And like we say, we want it to be as interactive and provide you with as much value as possible, just like we would be in the training ground with a team of players. Cool. Anything else for you to add, Chris?
So I was just going to explain the, I talked earlier about the overview page. Just to give you guys an indication, I'd like kind of you guys to start thinking about that and filling it in. And then again, this is just an overview of mine. I thought I was going to share it with you. And it just, again, highlights, again, the calories I'll go through with you over the next few days, because I said they're really important. How I get to that point, how I break down my calories for athletes as well. These are my goals for the program that I'm currently on. So that's just going to keep me accountable. This is what I want to do in the short term. And then this is my my weekly plan. This is what I'm going to do this week. And then again, I'll talk about nutritional strategies and the kind of periodization of macros and how to do that and why to do it, I suppose, throughout the week. But that's just kind of what it looks like, the end point of the top sheet here.
Awesome. Cool. So I think two tasks off the back of today. Fire away with any questions, comment in the comments down below this video, and also make sure you jump onto the pinned content and introduce yourselves. As we say, we want it to be a community, and we want people to sort of build relationships and drive that competitive nature that we all have within ourselves. So thanks again for joining us. And we will be back tomorrow with some more content. And again, if there's anything you'd like to see or know more about, please ask away. We will be doing a live, hopefully live, Q&A either through Zoom or through Facebook later in the week. All good?